Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor. I hope you guys are having an awesome today. Today we're doing something a little different than usual. We are going to be showing you a lesson in Procreate. That is an app inside of the iPad. It's actually an app you have to purchase and download on your iPad. And so I'm also going to be answering lots of questions about this. I have a course called Procreate for Makers that you guys may have heard about. I'm dropping a link in the channel in case you wonder what I'm doing over here. And so that course walks you through how to use this app to design door hangers, to customize your door hangers, to create door hanger mock-ups. There's so many ways you can use this with your door hanger art. So I'm going to be walking you through a quick lesson today on how to work smarter, not harder, when you're creating door hanger designs. And that is to kind of like keep everything organized in your gallery. And I'm going to show you how to save some like reusable shapes and things like that that you might use often if you're designing your own door hangers or want to customize something. And then I'm going to kind of show you how to, what I like to call Frankenstein things together to create a door hanger design from elements that you might already have. So if you want to learn more about this amazing app, go to Procreate makers.com, and you can read all about the course that I have. It shows you what all is available in that course. And tomorrow, Wednesday, November 5th through Sunday, that course is going to be 40% off. So if you've been contemplating on buying the course, set yourself a reminder for tomorrow to go on there and buy the course tomorrow. Hello, Angel, Elizabeth, Kathy. Welcome, Darla. Hello, Brenda. Good morning, everyone. How many of you guys already have Procreate? Raise your hand in the comments. I was like, what is that? I thought that was paint. It's a sticker. Or actually, it is paint. No, it is a sticker. You never know, because I have been peeling paint out of my paint trays today. So I thought that's what it was. Good morning, Teresa. So some quick questions that some of you asked. I'm going to pull up my list of questions here because inside the Painters Clubhouse, I had some members asking questions about this app. And so I'm going to address a few of those before we get started. The first thing is can I use Procreate on a computer? Do I have to have an iPad? You have to have an iPad. Yes. It doesn't have to be an iPad Pro. It could be any kind of iPad. You can use it on a phone, but honestly, like it's so small on a phone, I feel like you're going to struggle. So get yourself an iPad if you don't have one already. It will not work on any tablet, just an iPad. You're also going to need an Apple Pencil or some type of stylus. I highly recommend the Apple Pencil. It is a bit of a purchase. I think this thing was like $100, but it is worth every penny, in my opinion. It works seamlessly with the iPad and does really great. Now, the newer iPads, depending on the iPad that you have, you'll have to make sure your iPad model matches with the Apple Pencil you're buying. The newer ones, this pencil clicks into the side right here, magnetizes to the side, and you just see that little thing pop up. It automatically charges the pencil. So the older ones, I had this little thing on the end I had to pop off, and I had to actually plug the pen up to charge it. Pretty inconvenient because I would always forget to charge it when I wasn't using it. This way, when I'm done with the pencil, I'll just pop it on there and it automatically starts charging. So easy to use.
Elizabeth wanted to know, has the app changed from when you recorded the course? I follow step by step, but mine doesn't match yours.
Okay, the app may have changed slightly. I haven't noticed any major changes, though, Elizabeth. I would say that the course that we currently have will still work with your Procreate. And there might be a couple of minor things, like a button might be in a slightly different place. And I think the newer updates on the Procreate app have even more features than what I even talk about in the course. So the course is for beginners. If you don't know how to use Procreate at all, I'm going to walk you through it step by step, starting with how to download the app. Okay. And then we're going to move on to how to, create a new work of art and we're going to show you all the buttons, what all they do and all the things. Teresa has Procreate. Wonderful. Let me look at my other questions here. Linda said, my number one struggle is remembering to add new layers. Layers make things so much easier. Let me show you an example of a design that has lots of layers.
Also wanted to know, Angie said, which iPad do you have?
This is the iPad Air. I used to have an iPad Pro, but I now have an iPad Air. Where is the one I wanted to show you?
And Kathy wanted to know, how much is the course?
The course is normally $97, but it's going to be 40% off starting tomorrow. So for example, this one right here, our Santa with window design. See how all of these little elements right here are broken down? So the window's on its own layer, Santa's on its own layer, and all of that. And so that allows me to take Santa here and I can shift him around or move him around inside the design without messing anything up. I don't have to redraw anything. So remembering to use layers is very important. If you struggle with that right now, Linda, and you have a hard time creating new layers or remembering to do it, just the more you use your iPad, the better you'll get. I won't say 100% of the time you'll remember to use those layers, because still, even today, there are a few times when I'm like, oh, shoot, I forgot to, start a new layer, and I don't do that. In the course, I also talk about organizing your gallery, which is what you see here. I have all of my door hanger designs organized. I have like a Christmas folder. I have an animals folder, Easter, fall, and so on. And Brenda said, how do you enlarge a drawing to be a template once it's finished and then save it in the gallery? I'll say anytime you're designing anything in here, it automatically is saved in your gallery. So if we were to create a new work of art, I'm just going to doodle. Oh, hang on. White paint's not going to show up. I'm going to doodle on here. I said I was. A heart. Okay, there's our new work of art, right? When I go back to the gallery, it's automatically saved in the gallery. To organize it in the gallery, I hold my finger down on it and I can drag and drop it into a category of my choosing. So there, I just dragged and dropped it in there. I can also take it and pull it back out if I put it in the wrong one and put it in a different one. Whoops. I meant to drop it in there. Sometimes you have to be patient. I'm not very patient. You got to hold your finger over it till it does that little bloop, bloop, and then it's in there. I said it was. Watch me not be able to show you this. There we go. Now I got to drag it into the gallery. All right, I'm going to delete that. But that's kind of an example of how to organize your gallery. Now, I do have these cute little cover images on all of my galleries that have the labels. Essentially, what I did to create that was I started a new drawing. I dropped in a color. I added a fun pattern. We'll add splatter paint to this one. So it's like a work of art. And then on top of that, I'm adding some text. And we're going to put designs. I don't know. We're just making a fake one for now. And I can like change the font and make it super cute. And so once I've created that, now in my gallery, it shows up as a work of art. Now, is that really a work of art? No, but it's like a cover image for the rest of my works of art. So if I wanted to create a stack of these, I would have a bunch of designs and I would click select and I would select all the ones that I wanted. And then I would select my cover art and there's a button at the top that says stack. Once you do that, it's going to put all of these. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to undo what I just did. Delete these groups. Yes. No. What did I just do?
I don't know.
I don't know. Now I'm like, shoot, did I delete something I shouldn't have deleted? I don't know. We're going to go out and come back in. I'm looking, nothing's missing. So I don't know what I just did. I was like, did I just delete everything? No, I didn't. I think I deleted where I had accidentally grouped them together.
If someone's getting the course but they feel like, it might be a daunting task, is this one of those things where they're going to sit down and do the course all at once, or can they just, hey, I've got, I'm down for the night and I've got maybe 30 minutes?
That's a great question. This course is broken into modules. Each module has multiple videos in it, but no video is more than like 5 minutes long. So you can take it in bite-sized chunks and like watch one video and then go and practice the thing that I just taught. Something like this is so involved. There's the Procreate. So here's the actual app. It doesn't show me the price since I already own it, but somebody in the comments said the app is $12.99. It used to be $9.99. That is so worth it. It gives you, and they also are constantly updating and improving the app. So you get all the future versions of that for that price. What were we saying? Oh, but yes, each module is only 5 minutes long. So it's like a bite-sized amount. So go watch it and then go implement, go learn it. If I was to teach you all the things in one big long video, you would be like so overwhelmed.
I knew Linda had said that she had bought Procreate course last year for half off and she hadn't even used it yet. And I knew sometimes when you think about learning something new and it being intimidating, then one big lump sum versus, like you said, breaking it down into little bite size.
Yeah. And what I've noticed too is it's really helpful for people that maybe put the iPad down and didn't use it for a little while. They're like, I forgot how to alpha lock something so that if you don't know what that means, it means like you're not drawing outside of the shape. You're only drawing on top of the shape. You can go back and watch the video about the alpha lock function and reteach yourself just that part of it so you can remember it. Thank you for your comment, Lisa. She said Tamara explains it extremely well. You won't go wrong buying the course. The app itself is $12.99, Brandy, and you can find it in your Apple App Store. And then the Procreate course is $97. However, it's going to be 40% off starting tomorrow, November 5th through Sunday.
And have you got the link provided for the...
Yes, let me grab that here.
The Procreate course is something that I'm not saying that I've thought about taking the Procreate course, but I've sat there and tried to learn Procreate a little bit here and there, just because there's some things in the shop when it comes to moving a file over to Lightburn that it's a little bit tedious. But if you manipulate it in Procreate and then move it over to Lightburn, I think that it would be save us a lot of time on certain things.
Yes, for sure. Jennifer says my year-end goal is to take the course purchased last year at half off. Yeah. So once you purchase this course, it is yours to keep. You can take it at any time. You don't have to do it right away. If you know you've got some time over Christmas break, you could kind of put this on the back burner and come back and do it over Christmas break, or wait a long time like Jennifer did. Either way. Or you could come back through and do the course again as a refresher for yourself. You might just, after you start to get the hang of some of the basics, you might pick up on more things if you take the course again that you're like, oh, I forgot about that feature. So it's really great.
Missy said, is the $12.99 a one-time fee for the app?
Yes, the purchasing of the app in the App Store for $12.99 is a one-time fee.
And then Jamie Clark said from YouTube said, good morning. Can we use our Painters Clubhouse discount on top of the 40%?
No, I don't believe so. Painters Clubhouse members already get like 20% off year round on this course. But by making it 40% off, that's like doubling the discount. So it's better than a Clubhouse discount. So we couldn't stack your Clubhouse discount, unfortunately. One other thing, Brenda asked, how can I enlarge a drawing to be a template? So once you create a design, let me open one up in here. Let's take Henrietta, this little Valentine design. Once you create a design, you're going to have like your black and white version, right? This is going to be exported as a JPEG. So you would select the little wrench icon. And then, is that right? It's funny how breaking it down for you. I'm going to suddenly forget how to do this. There's here we go. Share. You're going to click share and then click JPEG. Once you click JPEG, it's going to ask, do you want to save this image? Yes, we're going to save it into our files. That just turns this into a black and white, like almost like a coloring book page. But to blow it up to be as big as a door hanger PDF, you're going to need a separate program. So there's a few different kinds of ways you can do this. One of the easiest ways is blockposters.com. That is a free website online. Let me go over there real quick. Block posters. The only problem with block posters is that I have a hard time getting it to an exact 18 by 18 inch or whatever it is that I'm working on. So in block posters, we can click get started, upload your image. We're going to select that little chicken, add. Now it's uploading our image. We can crop the image, but it's already cropped pretty close. And then down here, you decide how many pages wide do you want it to be? Well, right here, I can see, I don't know if y'all can see that online. Let me zoom in a little bit. It shows that if I do it like it already is, it's going to be 25.5 inches by 25. That's big. That's like 2 foot by 2 foot. So let's see when we adjust some of these settings, what happens. If I tap landscape, okay, it got bigger. It's 33 inches. So let's not do that. Let's keep it on portrait. Let's go down to 2 pages wide. So this is 2 sheets of copy paper wide. That brings it down to 17 by 17. That's a lot closer to 18 inches. If we tap landscape, it goes up to 22 by 22. Now, if you consider that you've got some dead space, that's probably 1 inch here, 1 inch there. That's going to bring this down to roughly 20 inches. So like I said, it's a little harder with block posters to get exact and precise with your inches. But if you play with your printer scale settings and stuff like that, you might could dial it in even more. And that's just one of the free sites. There's another one called like rasterbator.net. If you know anything about Adobe Illustrator, I think you can create PDF, multi-page PDFs from an image in Adobe. I don't know how to do that, but that is how ours, I think, are created for our template files. So a member of my team does that for me. Questions, comments before we go back to our actual lesson today? Let me get y'all zoomed back out here. Hello, Margarita. Welcome. If y'all have Procreate questions, drop them in the comments. That's all the questions that I had that were submitted in advance. So now I'm going to move to the actual lesson I wanted to teach you today, which is my secret for doing door hanger designs without working so hard. In these galleries, I have saved a shapes category. If I tap on that, looky here, we have all kinds of, I wonder if I can get it closer. No, that's still too close. I'm trying to get it the right amount zoomed in here. I have shapes saved of different like common door hanger shapes. And one of them is this snow globe design. Does this look familiar?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Michael's been designing stuff for our Whatnot sales, he's been Frankensteining together some of my designs. This snow globe shape is one of them that he has pulled, and he's been creating custom snow globes, like he did one with a gingerbread house, right?
Yeah.
So let me show you how you can do that in Procreate. Now, I will caveat this by saying, if you're taking designs from what you've purchased from Southern Adornments, I'm totally okay with you Frankensteining them together and making your own version of the template for your own personal use or selling your own painted door hangers. What you can't do is then take that design though and sell that template because it's created from Southern Adornments elements. Does that make sense? You would need to create your own version of a snow globe to do this if you wanted to sell the template. So with that being said, let's move forward here. I have this snow globe shape saved, so I'm going to duplicate it. Whoops. That pencil is slicker than snot. I just dropped it in the floor. We're going to duplicate it. And by duplicating it, that ensures that I don't mess up the original. And I'm going to pull this out of my shapes stack and just put this in my regular gallery here. And so now we have just, thank you, we have just the snow globe shape. Now, the inside of it, if you can see there, is clear, right? It doesn't have that white background. If I take this off, it's just the shape. So that white you're seeing is the canvas underneath. Now, let's say we wanted to do what Michael did and put a gingerbread house in here. Lucky for me, I already have that gingerbread house saved in my gallery from when I designed it. If you didn't, what you could do is take your template and download it, you know, just like you do when you're going to print, you know, make a door hanger with it. But you take like well, if you're creating a template, probably the black and white version of it and bring it in. I'm going to bring the color version in because that's much more fun to look at. But I'm going to go to my gallery. Here's a little trick you might not know. You can go into a current project that you have and find your element. So I want to use this little gingerbread house. I'm going to open up my layers. There's my gingerbread house right there. So if I had something in a previous design that I wanted to reuse, I could grab it like this, hold my finger down on it and pull it out. Now, it may look like it's going to disappear from this canvas, but it's actually not. It's like copying, pasting it. So I'm grabbing it. I'm not taking it out of here, even though it looks like it. We're going to go back to our gallery, keeping my finger. See, it's still right here. We're going to go back again. I'm going to find my snow globe and I'm going to drag and lift my finger up. And it copy and pasted that gingerbread house into this, this project. Now I can resize it, shrink it down, put it in here. Now I don't want it to sit on top of all that. I want it to be kind of behind that. So I'm going to drag this layer down. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Drag it down. There we go. And now it's kind of behind that little area there. Now here we can play with the colors and stuff. I don't want the bottom of my snow globe to be gray. I want it to be teal like the door. So I'm going to pick up that color. I'm going to go back to the layer with my snow globe on it and drop it in. There we go. Now, one common problem that people have, and I had to teach Michael this the other day, is that when they go to drag a color in, sometimes This time it's doing a pretty good job, but sometimes it doesn't fill the whole area. And so it might only like fill a portion of it. And you can see up here at the top, do you see that blue bar that's going across? That's called your color threshold. If you ever drag and drop a color in and it doesn't fill the whole area, or it fills it but not all the way, hold your pencil down when you drag it. And as you drag to drop, slide your pencil and it will start to increase that color threshold. That's trying to decide how much that color pools inside of that area. Now let's drag and drop a color into the background. Like, let's say we wanted this to be like, what do you think? Like light blue or something? We could go to blue here, pick a blue color. Let's go a little more blue. And then we're going to drag and drop this in here. Oh, it looks like our gingerbread house disappeared. Now it didn't. It's actually on the layer underneath. So what I'm going to do instead is, this is a little trick. I'm going to drag and drop it in here like I did, but then I'm going to use my select tool and I'm going to use the automatic. That means it's automatically selecting what I tap on. So I'm going to tap on that. That's the inside. That's the blue we just did. And I'm going to swipe 3 fingers down. That allows me to cut it out. So we're like cutting and pasting. Now I'm going to put it on its own layer. Swipe down, 3 fingers, and paste. It's back in there now, but look, it's on its own layer. So this is going to allow me to drag it and put it under the gingerbread house. Okay. Sabrina said, well, I missed half of this. You're probably going to have to rewatch this, Sabrina, and hit the pause button a few times, but don't worry. A lot of this is already taught inside that Procreate for Makers course in a much like slower click by click, step-by-step method. So you might see me clicking and doing things faster on a live like this, but in the lessons, I slow it down. Okay. Now let's say we wanted to add some snow inside of our snow globe. Well, we could go here, and I actually have a splatter paint brush somewhere. Where is it? Here it is, acrylic splatter paint brush. This is one that I actually designed. And you can make your own paint brushes and stuff in there, but that's a lesson for a whole other day. So if I wanted to do splatter paint, I feel like the color is really crazy because of the overhead light. I can do some, but look, if I do this, look, my splatter paint's going outside of my design. That's not what we want. So undo. And you can tap with 2 fingers to undo. That's really great. This is where we were talking about alpha lock. So if we tap on this layer, we can turn on something called alpha lock. And you can see that like around the edges, around the edges of the design in the layer, it turned to like a checkerboard pattern. That means the only place that the paint is going to go is inside of the area that's not checkerboard. So I can do my splatter paint and it's only going to stay inside the snow globe. But what if I also wanted some, sorry, y'all can't see that. What if I also wanted some on top of my house? Well, then I would need to create another layer and put it on top of my house. Now I could splatter paint directly on top of the gingerbread house layer, but then I might not be able to change that later and I might want to remove some splatters or something. So I'm going to put it on top of I'm going to make its own layer and then do some more splatters. So now we have snow on our gingerbread house. So we have 4 layers. We've got our snow globe, which is on top, our snow layer, our gingerbread house, and our background layer. Any questions so far from where we are?
I know Kathy had to ask for the link for Procreate.
Okay, procreate4makers.com. I'll put it in the comments. And it's going to be 40% off starting tomorrow. You can also comment deals 25 and that will show you where you can buy the course, what it's going to be on sale. And it also previews you next week's sale.
I know Lori said that is cool. I may have to get this someday.
It is very cool. And even if you don't want to design your own door hangers, maybe you just want to play around and be like, I want to imagine how I'm going to paint this design. I've showed that in other videos before too, where I import like a black and white image. So I could import that. Where's my, no, that's not what I want. I want photos. So I could import like the black and white image like we just did. And I could work on this like it's a coloring page. And that would allow me to sit and kind of doodle this. And look, I can just drag and drop colors in. And then it's kind of like I'm testing, okay, how do I want to paint this door hanger? And I do teach this in the course, how to kind of do this so that you can imagine how you want to design something. I'm just playing around now. So y'all let me know if you have another question.
So do you have the capability, like if there is something like that Burchett Farms patch, you know what I'm talking about? It says Burchett Farms, and it was a patch.
Yeah.
It had corn on it and stuff like that. If I wanted to take a picture of that and then turn around and add that in there in order to manipulate it and then turn it into a file, is something that's capable of being done. Okay, I guess in other words, like, so right here, if you wanted to take a picture of this.
Yeah, so sort of, yes. Let me.
I know I'm asking like something that's kind of.
That is very specific. So I'm trying to think, okay, how can I show you this in the easiest way? If I have a picture of something, let's do a deco art paint bottle. This will be easy to show you. This is sort of like that, but sort of not. So let me find one of the paint bottles here, and I'm going to snap a picture of it. Okay, now I'm going to drop that picture into my Procreate. Whoops, I dropped it into my MacBook Pro, not my Procreate. There we go. All right, so now that I have it, I can import that design. Oh, no, not import, photo. Well, I said I could. Did it make it in here? Thought I airdropped it over. Make sure I'm making sure the photo. Okay, photo's coming through now. It's uploading. Oh, good. It did give you the 40% off. I thought it wasn't starting till tomorrow, but they may have gone ahead and activated it, knowing I was going to be live today talking about it. So I'm glad to hear that. We
did have something like that happen because you were like, yeah, today did it at the ribbon legs.
Yes.
Nutcracker ribbon legs.
Yes, that was last week. I'm still waiting for the photo to airdrop. What is going on? Why is it taking so long? You could also just take a picture with your iPad. Okay, so if we were to import this photo into Procreate app, we could then take, isn't that crazy? Just took that photo and here it is. We could take and we could reduce the opacity of this design, making it kind of see-through, right? And so once we do that, we can then create a layer on top of it. Let me zoom out just a tad bit for y'all. Or is that better to have it zoomed in like that? I feel like it's so close, but.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty good.
I'm going to pick black and I'm going to go and just get like a regular pen here. And I could then trace, whoops. And I show how to do this in the app also. I mean, in the course. I could then trace the design to kind of create what it is we're wanting to create. So if I needed to create like a paint bottle to go on a door hanger design, and I'm doing this loosely, like you would obviously take more time to be careful about this, but like, you know, that would be your loose design of your paint bottle. So I'm just tracing on top of a photo. Now, I think you were talking about more like a logo, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little trickier with logos. If you've got a really clear picture of something like this. So if I wanted to use the logo off of this Deco Art bottle, I could use the select function and I could go in here. Whoops. The threshold is a thing also when you're doing this. Well, oh, I'm on a new layer. That's why. If you're ever having troubles, check your layers. It's probably a layer issue. So I have to get back on the photo layer, use my selection tool and select Deco Art. See how I'm sliding and it's starting to select more. I'm using that color threshold. So, you know, I'm just selecting each part of this. So maybe I want to save that black and white part. Whoop, nope, went too far with that. And then I'm going to copy and paste it. So that's going to put it on its own layer. So that's kind of what you would do. If you had a logo on a t-shirt, you could do that. Your other alternative would be doing the tracing like I was just talking about.
Okay. And then from there you can manipulate that as you want to.
Correct. So if we wanted to create this Deco Art bottle, I'm going to select this orange color, reduce the opacity. and go in here, and I'm just going to create a paint bottle so I can trace on top of it. And I'm using colors this time instead of black and white. I think it's more fun to design in colors and then create my black and white image after the fact. And that's just me personally. I prefer to do it that way. So if you find that you're better working with black and white lines first, then that's okay. I'm going to put that little cap on its own layer too. Oh, hold on. I forgot to fill that in. Whoops, I lost my color. And when I hold my finger down on something, it's picking up the color underneath. So I'm going to pick up this kind of like tan color here. And I'm not going to do the cap top part of this, but I'm just going to do that right there. So that kind of gives this shape of our bottle. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity, make it a little transparent on what we've already drawn so that I can then do the layers underneath. I can come back and turn that up again later. So for this, I'll take black and we'll do this part. This is where I'm talking about the trait. Whoop, that's way too thick. Over here, I'm controlling my brush size. What are you laughing at?
Daniel, like my question.
Oh, about how to do a logo or something?
Well, I mean, it just...
It's a different use case, right? Because there's so many things you can do with this.
And one of the things that I don't generally get to play around with the machines as much as I'd like, just because we stay pretty busy. But usually around Christmas or birthday gifts, I'll pick a project and I know for your Uncle Roger, one of the things that I was thinking about doing was the old Murray State with Dunker logo. And so using that to transfer over and then make a file out of it. And that would be a whole lot easier than sometimes the trace function on Lightburn, which is great. But again, it depends on the picture and the quality and pixel count.
This kind of gives you more flexibility.
Exactly.
Allows you to be a little more artistic with it. Whoop.
And that or that Birchick Farms logo, I was thinking about doing something for Mike. So I can transfer it from Procreate a lot easier than over to Lightburn and then use it on the laser machines.
So DecoArt's paint bottles always have this black bar down. I'm not going to put all that text there, but I could just put like the most common items on. Whoops, what did I just do? Oh, never mind. But this allows us to kind of like add just a few details. Let me turn the opacity back up of the DecoArt bottle. Now that Americana label is going to be really hard to duplicate just because look how detailed it is. So what I could do, let me think, let me turn this off, turn this back up, is I could freehand select this. If I was wanting to like make it look exactly like this label, then I'm kind of using, it's called like a lasso function. And so I'm lassoing around exactly what I want. And I'm going to copy and paste this on top. Turn that back on, turn this off, turn that off. So now I kind of have like a graphic. It looks like a piece of clip art, right? Of a DecoArt bottle of paint. Kind of cool.
Kathy wanted to know, do you have to purchase the brushes?
No, the Procreate app comes with a ton of brushes. I mean, there's, I have a bunch in here that I've purchased, but they've got sketching brushes, inking brushes, drawing, painting. This is supposed to act like acrylic, wet acrylic. You'll kind of get to where you use like the same 5 brushes all the time. So what I did was I duplicated those brushes and put them in a special folder that I labeled Tamara. And then I've also created some of my own brushes. Like I have this one called Beads on a String. And so this allows me to kind of make like a beaded design like this. I have another one that I created that this one is actually free on our website. Or no, not that one, not the checkerboard. It's this one, the buffalo plaid. They're very similar. This buffalo plaid brush is free on our website. So I'll grab the link for that if y'all want to go and download that brush. But you can download it and import them in. Just like you download fonts, custom fonts and things like that for your computer, you can download Procreate brushes and import them into your iPad. And if you need to know how to do that, just Google it. It's so simple. It'll probably walk you through step by step how to do that. I'm gonna grab the link for where y'all can get that Procreate or that free buffalo plaid brush right now.
So do you have a leopard print brush?
Of course I have a leopard print brush.
I knew whenever I was like,
do y'all want to see all my pretty brushes? Here's leopard print. So you can do small, or you can increase the brush size and make it big and chunky. What else? I have polka dot pattern. Oh, that's still leopard print. Polka dots. So this is great because if I wanted to fill an area, let's go to a new one. If I wanted to create a circle, let me just put a circle on here. And we're going to make this circle pink, of course. And then if I wanted to alpha lock this, I could fill this whole circle with buffalo plaid or something if I have this brush. I really love using some of these pattern brushes when I'm trying to like get an idea in my head of how I want to paint a door hanger. I'm like, do I want to do buffalo plaid? Do I want to do leopard print? I'll play around with these brushes like this in Procreate first to kind of get the concept going. And that helps me visualize it.
So one of the reasons Danielle was the one that had said, great question. At a show, another vendor mentioned wanting her logo on signs around her shop. Internally, I panicked because I had no clue where to even start. Now I do.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect for stuff like that. But also if a customer's like, could you create a door hanger for my daughter that's pink with leopard print and then put her name on it? You could easily create something like this and then go in and just add your text. Like let's put Charlie because that's my daughter's name. And you could say like, which kind of font do you like best? And it would allow you to show her options and she could visualize how that's going to look before you even paint it. And so you could create some options for her by creating mock-ups without having to actually paint it first.
Kathy said, I have a ton of brushes for Photoshop. So I'm wondering if I can import some of those.
I would bet they have to be an actual Procreate brush for that to work because it's a special file type that this thing uses. I even created a custom one that looks like crackle paint. Isn't that cool? I could just sit and play with this all day. It's very fun. So if you need something to do in your downtime when you're watching TV or something and you want to design, that one's hard to see. There's lots of things you could do with this. Here's a Spanish tile pattern. Oh, I need a different color. That's kind of pretty.
Oh, yeah.
All right, y'all. That's all I got to share with you all today on how to use, you like my little iPad prop there, on how to use the iPad. Go organize your gallery if you haven't done that yet, if you've been using Procreate for a while. If you don't have a standard set of shapes that you use commonly for door hangers, go set that up. If you haven't signed up yet for the course, you can do that at procreateformakers.com. It's already 40% off through Sunday. So now's a great time. It is a little overwhelming. That's why the course is the best place to start, Danita. The course is not overwhelming. Let me just say that. The course is like little 3 to 5 minute videos. You watch one, then you go play on your iPad and learn how to do that thing and practice it. If you're just watching me here on a Facebook Live and trying to digest all of this at once, it's probably like, how did she just do that? What did she just do? I can't keep up. It's not the same. In the course, it's much slower, a little more digestible. And I teach you what each button does. I didn't do that in today's live because we would have never gotten to all the cool stuff that I showed you in today's live if I was busy focusing on those things. So the course is the best place to start if you're interested. All right. Any further questions before we wrap it up? A lot of you guys are just like stunned into silence. I know. Yes, comment deals 25, and that's going to give you a preview at what next week's deals are going to be. Do y'all want a little sneaky peek at what they are? I haven't showed them yet, Michael. I have them up here on the desk. So next week, starting on Wednesday, we're going to have a mini ornament bundle, and it's going to have 10 ornaments. This is one of them. And each ornament has some three-dimensional pieces. So his little hat is 3D. Let's see. I'm going to show you another one. I'm not going to show you all of them, but there's 10 ornaments total. Here's another one. It's the gingerbread candy house. The doors, the window, the peppermint, and the roof are all 3D. And so there's 10 total pieces. Each design has 3D pieces on them, and they're all 6-inch. Now, I am going to give you a piece of paper that shows you how to paint each, not how to paint each one, but a color mock-up, like the photo of how I painted each one, and a list of the colors. There's no video tutorial involved, but you will have a visual reference, a photo, and the color list. So that's coming next week on Wednesday. So mark your calendar, November 12th.
Marina said, happy Marine anniversary. Yeah, my second birthday is coming up.
Marine Corps birthday.
Yep.
Hoorah. All right, y'all. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.